What stood out to me is that Michigan State has already paid out $500 million in light of this, which to me feels like very much an admission of some sort of guilt or institutional failure. Also, the Michigan legislature found absolutely without a doubt that Michigan State failed to protect its students in the case of Larry Nassar. So the fact that the NCAA can hide behind there are no exact bylaws about sexual assault that they needed to apply to this case, to me reveals that your bylaws are flawed. If you have things set in stone about cream cheese for bagels and whether people ate too much spaghetti at a dinner, but you don't have anything to protect the safety and well-being of student athletes, then you need to re-examine that stuff, because you go right to the website for the NCAA and it says academics, well-being, and fairness. It is not fair to your student athletes that they have to compete in a dangerous situation, a dangerous environment, and their well-being is major part of all of this. So the fact that they try to use semantics and the specific wording of the bylaws to avoid acknowledging that there was very clearly institutional failure, to me is exactly how this all came about. This is enabling, once again, I think it's embarrassing, it's an insult to all the women who came out and spoke about this. And they said flat out in their discussions with ESPN and others, think of all the adults that had to have turned the other cheek, not listened to our complaints in order for this to go on as long as it did. And this is just opening up the door for other places to try to use these semantics to get out of actual accountability.
Sarah, thanks for joining us today. It's good to have you. And I completely agree. Guys, a lot has been said about safe spaces in college campuses. And Will, you know, we have ideological debates at times, and here is where I go against many on the left who talk about safe spaces from ideas. That is not what a college campus is about. There should not be safe spaces from ideas. But physical harm, you know, like at the bare minimum, an institution needs to keep the people who go there, the not yet quite fully adult people who go there, you know, alive and unmolested sexually, one would hope. And the idea that it was found that Michigan State didn't violate NCAA legislation, well, change the damn legislation if that is the case. Guys, Michigan State should get the death penalty here. This is open and shut, crystal clear. And if you don't believe me, ask Amanda Tomashow, who said, quote, Michigan State University, the school I loved and trusted, had the audacity to tell me that I did not understand the difference between sexual assault and a medical procedure. I mean, she was the first to file an official complaint against Nassar, but there were more. In other words, Michigan State, the institute, is having people come to them saying, this is what is happening. Let me spell it out for you. They receive the information, the administrators, and tell the people bringing them the information about the events that occurred to them, the crime perpetrated upon them. You don't understand what that was. That was a medical procedure, not assault. They have failed at the most basic level that an institution must not fail, to keep the student body not safe from ideas, a safe space, but a physically safe place, which they're entrusted to do. If not the death penalty now for Michigan State, then my question is, why have one at all? Michigan State should get it.
We don't really have a debate on this issue. We have a discussion. And Max, I think you put it really, really well in our meeting this morning. I don't want to steal your line, but I thought you said it perfectly when you said the bare minimum of a university, the bare minimum of an athletic department is to do what? To keep someone alive and unmolested, right?
Yes, unmolested. Yeah.
It's not asking much. It's not a huge bar to clear. Keep your students alive and unmolested, and Michigan State clearly failed that very, very low bar. My condemnation is no different from both of you, from Sarah, from you, Max. Michigan State, and they're not out of the woods, by the way. Just because there's been this NCAA clearing of any particular rules within the bylaws of NCAA doesn't mean Michigan State's out of the woods. The Department of Education, Sarah, from what I understand, is still investigating Michigan State. I believe the state attorney generals in Michigan is also looking into Michigan State. But
individual lawsuits.
And for that matter, the gymnastics coach has been arrested.
Kathy Klages, has been arraigned on 2 counts of lying about the complaints that she received to police. which again speaks to multiple women who have said, I told people,
Right.
They told me, like Max said, that I was wrong or I didn't understand.
And there's a second as well. It's not just
there's multiple, yeah.
meaning who have been arraigned.
Right.
So this,
well, and they already let go of a president and other,
Right.
there's all, and so people are saying that's enough. It's not enough. You've already given $500 million, had people arrested, had people fired. So if then you're trying to say, but we didn't do anything wrong, why are you giving people $500 million?
Okay, but hold on. Now that's where we'll get into some disagreement, and it's only on this front. I am a believer in rules and principles, and that's the point of codifying it. If not, we're just winging it. We might as well just elect or appoint people who we see as somehow the wisest among us at every occasion to pass down judgment. And I agree with both of you. If this isn't against an NCAA bylaw, change the bylaws.
Right.
But you can't just wing it. You can't right now go, well, we don't have a rule, so let's just make one up and pass down what we think is just. And by the way, I agree with both of you on what would be just here. I don't know about full death penalty, Max, but there's something more than nothing. So let me give you the one example. Everybody agreed when it came to Ray Rice that he deserved more than 2 games. We all looked at it, we said, are you kidding me? This only gets 2 games? But the CBA of the NFL said 2 games. And the real original sin that got us down this disciplinary hole, this rabbit hole we're in today, is that Roger Goodell disregarded the CBA and did what he thought was just. And many of us might have agreed, more than 2 games. But once you wing it, once you toss out the rules, you're now only subjected to the court of public opinion. I agree.
We're a nation of laws, not men.
Right,
Yeah,
but
so
let me
change
speak
the law.
specifically to that. There is something in there. There is something where well-being bylaw is in there, but MSU referred to that as a guideline not subject to enforcement. How is it possible that the well-being, which is one of the 3 principles stated right on the NCAA front of their website is the 3 things they care about most, how is the well-being bylaw a guideline and other things can be enforced?